Hey guys, it's Noreen here. Today I'm going to show you how I create my baby boomer nails in liquid and powder. If you're a natural nail tech, I will leave a link below on how I've created a similar look using just CND shellac and Licente ombre powders, but in today's video we're going to be using solely liquid and powder. Let's get into it. So my model's natural nails today might look a little strange, and that's because this isn't a real hand, it's a silicone hand. So these are actually just plastic tips that are stuck onto a silicone hand. So you can probably see my prep is a little bit aggressive, but that's okay because these aren't natural nails. Of course, when you're doing your own client's nails, you're going to follow your own prep procedures before you continue with the next step. The first step I'm going to do here is I'm going to take up a bead of pure white, perfect colour powder. So I'm using the exact same liquid to powder ratio as I do normally. I'm not making it any wetter. I'm going to keep that same consistency. I'm going to press the bead out from side to side so that it fits the end of the tip, and I'm just brushing the powder back upwards. You can see that I've got my brush in the reverse position. I find this the easiest way to put the white on. It just flows that little bit more natural. Okay, so for the second bead, I'm coming in with warm pink opaque in perfect colour as well. I've chosen the perfect colour ranges because they give a more softer diffused look, whereas if you choose something from the Retention Plus range, you're going to get more clarity, which isn't what we want. We want that diffused look because we're trying to blend these two colours in together. Okay, so again, I've picked up the correct consistency, so it's not too wet, it's not too dry, and I've just placed that bead there at the back of the nail. Notice how I'm focusing on getting it flush to the cuticle line first. Okay, so don't worry about the blend because it's quite easy to blend afterwards. As you can see, all it takes is a few strokes, but once your powder starts to set up, your liquid and powder starts to set up, it's very hard to get it nice and tight in at the cuticle line, which means you're going to have loads of filing to do at the end, and obviously we want to try and avoid that. Okay, so I can see here that I'm not happy with how much pink to white I have. I think I've put a tiny little bit too much pink on. So I'm going to show you now how you can correct that. You can see I've just tried to scoop a little bit off the end and smooth it out. But now I'm going to come back in with a second bead of white. Remember guys, this doesn't build structure, we're just building colour here. So these layers are very thin, so this next bead is going to be very small. We don't need a huge amount of product. All we're going to do is pick up a tiny little bead on the brush. Again, we're going to come in with that reverse method. Place the bead on, allow it to settle for a second, start to press it from side to side, and then brush it all the way up. Okay, so that's going to give us a nice blend. The white is always more opaque, so this is why it should always go on first. Do you see how we don't have that translucency now between the pink and the white? So always try to pop your white on first, and it's going to make it a little bit easier. To make sure we've got that really good blend, we're going to come back in with a tiny bead of pink, but I'm going to apply this slightly differently, okay? So we want to keep the back of that nail nice and thin and nice and flush to the natural nail. So when we come in with this second bead, notice where I place it. I've placed it a good bit away from the cuticle line. We don't need any product at the back of that nail now. We're just trying to make sure that we've got a nice blend in the middle. Press the bead from side to side just to make sure that you've got a nice thin application, and then start to drag it down. And then you've got that nice smooth blend. That's what we're looking for. That looks beautiful. Okay, so just to finish off this look, we're now going to encapsulate this design, and this is also going to add our structure. I'm going to do this in one bead. If you're not confident doing this in one bead, split it up into three like your traditional method. So I've placed my bead at the back. As you can see, it's so important to get it flush to that cuticle area first. Notice that I'm pressing the bead down the nail, but I'm also pushing it in at the sides. You want to keep the majority of that product in the center of the nail. That's where you need the structure. That's going to be where you're going to place your apex. So don't be afraid to really go in and squish that product from the side back into the center. And once you've encapsulated the whole lot of it, you can just smooth the surface so that you've got less filing to do. I've encapsulated this nail with clear perfect colour powder, because remember, the perfect colour powders give her a softer, more diffused effect, and that actually really helps with the blending. Also, if you don't have this clear overlay over your nail, when you go to file into it to shape the nail, you're going to ruin that blend as well. So it's really important that you've got it encapsulated in that layer of clear for both structure and to help put the blend of the colour. You're going to finish file as normal and finish with your gel top coat of choice, and that is exactly how I do my baby boomer nails in liquid and powder. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to be notified every time I upload. Thanks for watching, see you soon.